these mothers don't have a mediator in the home, which is one of the roles that I play when I come in, which it makes it seem as though I'm this great mentor, but I'm really a mediator because now they have someone that they can bounce a lot of these issues off. So that at-risk youth young man is the one that you begin to see that have the lack of interest in school, that dropout, the ones who are making excuses as to why they don't want to go to school. An interesting observation that I had a number of years ago is that I always observe a young man's life when he was in the 5th grade. Because when a young man gets in the 5th grade, he begins to realize what his life is beginning to look like. So when he look around and all these things he's heard about the dad who's no longer there, it's beginning to make sense. In my experience and work with young men, one of the main things is a lack of fathers in the home, drugs, sex, alcohol, and their lack of interest in education. So until we're able to deal with those issues, then we may begin to see these numbers increase to what we're seeing now. I think a majority of young men are at risk anyway. So the at-risk group to me is that young man that when he begins to lose interest in education, and then you look at their background as to what is the driving force, because oftentimes a lot of these young men are in single-parent households, and I'm learning that. And when those things begin to make sense, young men, unlike a lot of adult people, like you and I, we have our challenges. We can go on a nice vacation, or we can go read a book, or we can go shopping, where they can't have that. They don't have that privilege. They don't have that opportunity. So what they do is they begin to act it out. And that's what I've been seeing over the years. And I think that with the way that I engage, to answer your question, is one thing that I do that the average mentor does not do, is that I spend every day with young men.
Wow.
So they begin to trust me because that person that I am, they've only heard about him in a movie or they read about him in a book. So to see that I actually exist, it brings a lot of security in them. And so we begin to build a trust. And just spending a lot of time with them, getting to know them, they getting to know a lot about me. And then once we get the parents on board, then that makes a lot of sense. But for those parents who don't want to get on board, I just think the most difficult part, the most challenging part is just being there, being consistent, showing them that they love them, because mentoring is really showing the way.
Welcome to our 10th anniversary celebrations of Next Level Boys Academy and our Mother-Son Ball. You all look absolutely fabulous tonight. But before we get into what's going to take place tonight, I want to tell you a little bit about the Next Level Boys Academy. Back in 2009, after working for the state of Georgia for a number of years, I decided to take a leap of faith and start an organization specifically designed for young men. And, you know, to be honest with you, in the beginning, when I first quit my job, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But about 3 or 4 months later, I had this little itch, this little something on the inside of me said, hey, listen, what do you like to do? And I found myself getting very excited when it was time to go coach Little League sports. So I said, you know what, let me just start something that would involve young men. So in May of 2009, I decided to do a summer camp program that's just for young men. That year, the program was called Camp Next Level. And we had about maybe 10 young men to come out, and it was a camp that just involved sports and mentoring and field trips and, you know, some academics. Well, after the first year, after the summer camp ended, I noticed that these young men, there was there's another need for them to have. And so I started an after-school program. So that program, which was interesting, was the very first year I started my after-school program, I had about 4 students. 2 of them were my own. So imagine making $100 a week for 6 months. But you know what? I kept the faith. And the rest is history. So since 2009, every year, Next Level Boys Academy has implemented a new program. We have after school, summer camp. We have a program on Friday nights called the Mail Room, M-A-L-E Room. We have a basketball program, a soccer program. And We also mentor in the schools and the communities and the local parks and recreations. But our most, I don't want to say most popular program, but the program that we've had that seems to be getting the most attention is our diversion program, which is an alternative to incarceration program. But the ultimate goal of Next Level Boys Academy is to build a village, is to build a safe haven that would allow young men to have a place where they can have an outlet. So to know more about Next Level Boys Academy, don't forget to go on that website, nextlevelboysacademy.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Next Level Boys Academy. Thank you so much for supporting us over the years, because this ball could not have been possible without the support of you all. Thank you so much, and enjoy your evening.